The sunlight spilled over the marble steps of the grand Ashton Mansion where 10-year-old Ethan sat quietly clutching a toy car in his hands. His mother, Clarissa Ashton, one of the wealthiest women in the city, was inside preparing for another glamorous charity gala. But Ethan didn't care about parties, designer clothes, or the mansion's glittering chandeliers. He only cared about one thing, the gnawing emptiness inside him that no amount of toys could fill. That morning, he had begged his chauffeur to let him stop by the park on their way home from school. Reluctantly, the chauffeur agreed, and Ethan ran toward the swings. That's when it happened. He froze. There, near the trash bins, was a boy about his age. His hair was the same shade of chestnut brown. His eyes the exact shade of hazel. His features mirrored Ethan so perfectly, it was as though he was staring into a distorted reflection of himself. Except this boy's clothes were ragged, his face smudged with dirt, his hands rough and bruised. Ethan dropped his toy car in shock. You look just like me," he whispered. The boy straightened, clutching a piece of stale bread in his hands, suspicious eyes scanning Ethan. "My name's Liam," he said cautiously. "Who are you?" "I'm Ethan," he replied, still staring. "But this is impossible. We look exactly the same." The two boys stood there frozen until Ethan's curiosity overwhelmed his fear. "Come with me. My mom needs to see this. She'll explain." Liam shook his head, panic flashing his eyes. "Adults don't want me. They just push me away. I don't belong in houses like yours." But Ethan's small hand reached out, trembling with sincerity. "You do. You belong with me. Please." Something in Ethan's innocent tone softened Liam's hardened defenses. Hesitant, he followed. At the mansion, Clarissa was inspecting a line of expensive champagne bottles when Ethan's voice echoed through the hall. Mom, you need to see this." Annoyed at first, she turned around. Then the glass in her hand slipped and shattered on the floor. Her eyes widened. Her lips trembled. The sight before her pierced her very soul. Ethan, her beloved son, stood beside a boy who looked exactly like him, down at the faint birthmark on his left collarbone. Clarissa staggered, clutching her chest as tears filled her eyes. "No, it can't be." Ethan, confused, blurted out. "Mom, he's my brother." "I know it. Look at him." Clarissa fell to her knees, sobbing. Memories she had buried long ago came flooding back. Memories of a cold hospital room, of a doctor's hurried whispers of Alfonso, her late husband, insisting she would get the baby she swore she felt still inside her after Ethan's birth. She had always believed she had twins. But when she woke after labor, only Ethan was placed in her arms. The doctors told her she had imagined it. That exhaustion had clouded her mind. Alonso, with his iron voice, forbade her to ask questions. "We have one son and that's all," he had said coldly. But now, standing in front of her, alive, was a child she had been forced to forget. Clarissa threw her arms around Liam, tears soaking his filthy shirt. "My son. Oh God. My son." Liam stiffened, shocked. No one had ever held him with such warmth. "Your son?" he asked in disbelief. Ethan looked between them, heart pounding. "I knew it, Mom. I knew he was mine. My brother." The revelation sent shock waves through the Ashton household. Clarissa summoned her lawyers demanding answers about the night of her delivery. Slowly, painfully, the truth unraveled. Years ago, Alfonso Ashton had bribed the doctor to take one of the twins away. He feared dividing his vast empire between two heirs and believed one child was expendable. The baby Liam had been abandoned in a rundown clinic, declared stillborn to his mother. But instead of dying, fate had spared him, and he grew up on the streets, surviving by sheer will. Clarissa listened in horror as her suspicions of Alfonso's cruelty were confirmed. He was gone now, buried with his wealth and secrets, but his sins still lived on. Her lawyers confirmed Liam was indeed her son. DNA tests erased all doubt. The following days were filled with transformation. Liam was brought into the mansion. Doctors treated his wounds. Chefs served him hot meals and maids dressed him in clean clothes. But despite the comforts, Liam often sat silently, staring out the window, struggling to believe it was real. One evening, Ethan found him alone in the library. "Don't you like it here?" Ethan asked gently. Liam shrugged. "I'm not used to this. Soft beds, food every day, people caring. Feels like a dream. And dreams always end." Ethan grabbed his brother's hand tightly. "This one won't. You're my brother and I'm never letting you go. We'll do everything together. School, birthdays, even getting into trouble. You'll see." Liam looked into Ethan's determined eyes. And for the first time in his life, he smiled without fear. Months passed and the city's newspapers exploded with headlines. Millionaire family discovers lost heir living on streets. Clarissa, once admired for her wealth, now became admired for her courage. She openly confessed the truth at a press conference, her voice breaking as she admitted how her husband had stolen one child from her arms. The nation wept with her. But the story wasn't just about wealth and scandal. It was about two boys who had found each other against all odds. One chilly December night, the Ashton Mansion glowed with Christmas lights. Under the tall, glittering tree, Ethan tugged Liam's sleeve. "Come on, open your gift." Liam carefully unwrapped the box. Inside was the old toy car Ethan had dropped in the park the day they met. Cleaned, polished, restored. "It's the first thing I saw when I met you," Ethan said with a grin. "Now it's yours. So you'll never forget we were meant to find each other." Liam's eyes filled with tears. He hugged his brother tightly, whispering, "I'll never forget, not ever." And Clarissa, watching from the doorway, placed her hand over her heart. She had lost so much. But now God had given her back not just a son, but the truth and a second chance at love, family, and forgiveness. From that day forward, Ethan and Liam were inseparable. One raised in luxury, the other in hardship. But now, side by side, they prove something greater than wealth or power. That blood may be hidden, but destiny will always bring family back together. And it all began with the words of a little boy. "Mom, he's my brother.